We're here at the Shepherds 360 Conference, and I'm standing next to Dr. Peter Goeman, a professor at Shepherds Theological Seminary and host of the Bible Sojourner podcast. Dr. Goeman, can you share a little bit about what you just spoke about regarding Satan? Why is Satan called the god of this world?
Well, that's a great question. So the title comes from 2 Corinthians 4:4, where Paul refers to Satan as the god of this world who has blinded the minds of unbelievers. And I think what Paul is identifying there is a key component that in the context of the unbelieving realm, Satan has a real authority in deceiving and blinding and distracting people from the things that really matter. In fact, earlier in Ephesians 2:2, we see that Paul refers to Satan as the prince of the power of the air, which is a reference to Satan's authority in kind of the demonic realm. And if you think of putting all these kind of threads together, I think Paul's main idea and focus in considering this, God of this world age is not that Satan has a rival authority to God, but that he has a very real authority in this anti-God system, which is constantly in opposition. Jesus kind of picks up on that theme when he says, "You are of your father, the devil." Kind of the idea of, even going back to Genesis 3:15, there is a seed of the woman and a seed of the serpent associating with the devil, where there's that constant conflict. And so Satan is the God. He's the head figure, the head of the serpent, if you will. Yeah, exactly. Who opposes God's system, and I think that's what he's identifying there.
Now, can you also share just what I thought was a great illustration of Satan's power and how one day it'll be removed? And you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So the way I think we can illustrate this is, through the cross and resurrection, Christ has, according to Colossians 2, disarmed the powers and authorities. But yet there's still a real authority that Satan is, executing against the world. And so how does that work? And the way I like to picture it is an eviction. And so, again, hopefully nobody has experienced this, but you get an eviction notice saying, hey, you need to get out of the building that you're renting. And at that point, you are legally cast out. You should leave the premises, but you could stay there and cause problems. And you could, destroy, the paintings, the walls, whatever. You cause all sorts of trouble until the authorities come up to forcibly remove you. And so I think that's what's going on with Satan, is that you have the eviction notice being given. Jesus has died on the cross, assured complete and utter victory, but Satan still has a very real power and authority here, as he's kind of biding his time, fighting against the Lord in whatever capacity he can, until the second coming, when Christ will return and completely and utterly remove, and if you want to say it that way, evict Satan from the premises.
Bind for 1,000 years and then completely
Correct.
evict and remove. So, well, thank you very much, Dr. Goeman. That was very helpful.
Privilege.